Hello and welcome to the SCS number 228. My name is Urs. I'll be your host today, and we have two teams signed up for our weekly Guns of Icarus competitive tournament. Starting off with the red team, the Pomelos, we have the Stromalo, a Judgment with center Lumberjack, Hades, Banshee on lower deck, rear Hwacha, Carronade. Their ally is the Sonic Speed Monkey, a Squid with Gatling Banshee, rear Mine Launcher, Light Carronade, excuse me. For their opponents, Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan, we have the GFA Salvager, two Seraph Tempest on the left side, front Artemis, Gatling Banshee on the right, and finally the Bamboozle Moth, blue team, bringing a Judgment of their own, Lumberjack, dual Hades, with a Hwacha and Harpoon on the rear. So, because we have two teams signed up today, we will be playing a best of five set here between these two teams. And we should note that the Shrike is banned today, which is why we do not see any Shrikes here. Red team opting to bring the Squid. Shrike seen to be kind of a nuisance in competitive play. So, hopefully getting the Banhammer soon. A ship that's basically impossible to kill, but also carries multiple Hwachas, so won't be seeing any Strikes today. And teams are going to have to figure out how to adapt, because that's kind of... Shrike has been one of the metagame defining ships of these last couple of months. So, now we do see currently Fight Over Fernfeld, one of the more open maps. So both teams opting to bring some long-range firepower in their respective judgments, and Pomelos bringing the Squid, which is a little bit interesting. Pomelos have been definitely one of the teams that have most capitalized on the hybrid team composition by relying on that Shrike, having a long-range, heavy firepower ship in the back with a high-speed engagement-style ship that's able to keep the enemy preoccupied so that their sniper can just kind of unload their arsenal on whichever target they want to. So it seems Pomelos are today opting to bring that Squid instead, trying to fulfill that same role. And Salvager currently getting destroyed. Tactic working out, at least for the time being. And now Bamboozle Moth forced to disengage. They're rising up, trying to dodge some of that fire. They need to stay alive long enough for their ally Junker to spawn back in. I don't know if they're going to be able to. They have a lot of armor shredding coming in. Gatling from the Squid combined with the Stromalo's Hades. But they're going to tank the best they can, and we'll see if... Ooh, they're taking a lot of damage here. We'll see if the Junker decides to spawn in close. I think they're probably not going to. I don't think there's any possibility for Legio Lepidoptera to save that ship, so I'm sure the Junker Salvager is waiting in the spawn area. And they're going to be forced out by the timer in a few seconds. So they'll just have to survive for a little bit before their allied Judgment pops in to help. And because Raid Team is... They're kind of hanging out. This west side of the map is Blue's spawn zone. There's a spawn to the northwest as well as southwest. Southwest is just the farthest spawn, so we do see that's what Legio Lepidoptera decides to take. And I'm a little surprised by the outcome here, because typically in the way these matchups play out, Judgments obviously kind of trade evenly with each other. It's largely based on gunning ability and positioning. But typically the Junker is able to contest a Squid. Junker has the close range mobility to keep up with those close range movements, and the lack of Hwacha, which is one of the Junker's big weak points. That Hwacha, because all the components here at the rear of the Junker are so clustered together, it's very vulnerable to Hwacha-based disable. I think the Junker would be able to contest this Squid a little bit better than they have been doing. Simply because they have the same firepower that the Squid does. They have that Gatling Banshee side. But they have much more armor. So the single Gatling from the Squid will have... Typically, in the past, what we've seen is that The single Gatling-based ships have a little bit of difficulty with the Junker's armor. But here we go. I think what I suspect is just better focus fire from Pomelos. And we do see Bamboozle Moth moving in. GFA Salvager a little far back here. They're trying to contest with the Tempests, firing them towards the Squid. But what the Sonic Speed Monkey is doing is actually using the Bamboozle Moth to body block some of those Tempest shots for a moment. And Salvager range here, I don't know. Bamboozle Moth is taking a lot of damage. Sonic Speed Monkey hasn't even... Pole Armor hasn't even broken yet. Salvager needs to be doing a lot more damage here. And both the Bamboozle Moth and the Salvager, a lot of balloon pressure being exerted. Oh, man. Yeah, Bamboozle Moth is just getting shredded by the Strombolo. They can't do anything about this. Like, the Salvager is just not contributing damage to this fight. They're totally... the dual Tempest not quite working out. I would like to see them hold a closer position to their allies, so they can maybe use that Gatling Banshee side and help out, deal with the Sonic Speed Monkey a little bit better. But now, this is probably going to be a 4th point. Speed Monkey's not going to let this Junker get away. Rogue Shoot is on for the Salvager. Armor is down. Lumberjack's raining in dual Banshees, picking them away. Sonic Speed Monkey even going for the Ram, and that's 4th point. And now Pomelos occupying that southwest spawn point for Legio Lepidoptera. We'll see what happens. Sonic Speed Monkey moving to the north. Looks like Legio Lepidoptera is taking the north spawn, and Speed Monkey already has visibility into this area of the map, so actually pretty sneaky by the Squid. I don't believe they've revealed themselves. However, Strombolo is already in position and has clean line of sight to blue team with Squid waiting in the wings, so Sonic Speed Monkey can engage at any time. And Legio Lepidoptera knows that, so they're rushing the Judgment. They know the Squid's probably going to be flanking from the rear, so they're going to take this opportunity to move in. Charges a Red Judgment. And this could potentially work. They could try to just ignore the Squid. But no, Salvager sticking back to contest them. They are using that Gatling Banshee side finally, which I do like to see. So the armor goes down on Sonic Speed Monkey. They're forced to keep this low altitude, which is making their gun arcs difficult. And this has allowed the Bamboozle Moth... Oh no, Salvager just gets deleted. As soon as it seemed like they were doing something tactically advantageous, they just get focus fired and destroyed. So that's a 5-0 from the Pomelos in this first game of game of our best of 5 set. Next match is going to be Northern Fjords. So we will be going to a short break. Second game, Northern Fjords. First off, for the Pomelos, we have the Reborn Mercury Dual Artemis module with a left side Hades, right side Gatling gun. Their ally is the slow-moving Squid, Hades Heavy Flak Mark II, Lumberjack on the left side, Hwacha Heavy Carronade on the right with a rear flare gun. Their opponents, Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, bringing the GFA Dositicus, Lumberjack Dual Tempest, the close-range mine launcher, and finally, the Bamboozle Moth. Judgment, Mark II Heavy Flak in the center with Artemis and Mercury on the lower right, rear Hwacha, and Harpoon Gun. And already blue team, Legio Lepidoptera pushing aggressively into Red's position here by the Arched Peak. the GFA Dicidicus being fired on almost immediately. Looking at that Lepidoptera opting to bring the Stormbreaker here to get a little bit more long-range firepower. The Dual Tempest Artemis we saw last game really did not cut it. The Tempests were just not exerting enough pressure on the opposing ships. The Junker, in long-range fight, the Junker was effectively nulled. Then the close-range slow-moving, or not slow-moving squid, but the regular moving squid was just able to outmaneuver them in every possible situation. The Gatling Banshee side of the Junker was not able to keep arcs long enough for them to really contest their opponents at close range, so that allowed the Red Judgment to just kind of unload on whichever target they wanted to. Junker obviously weaker than a Judgment. So this time we see blue team playing a lot more aggressively. Reborn, slow-moving squid currently negated here out of the fight, while at the same time Bamboozlemoth is getting Artemis down, so the Dicidicus looks like they did take out the balloon of the Reborn, so this is a possibility for a dual focus. Reborn trying to slide underneath the Judgment. Armor is down. Lumberjack shot misses. Heavy Flak connects, and there's the first point. Lucky Lepidoptera taking the lead on Northern Fjord. Slow-moving squid finally able to repair their balloon, but they just need to tank this one out. Blue team certainly not going to be able to get a kill before the Reborn respawns. This is not going to snowball out of control in the way that we saw on Fernfeld for Leche Lepidoptera. But we do see GFA Dicidicus moving back into position. Hopefully get a quick spot on the Mobula. Currently dual focusing is blue team on the slow-moving squid. Lumberjack taking down their balloon. Mobula firing on GFA Dicidicus. Moving in close. Maybe we're going to see... Whoa! Galleon is dead. Was that a lock? Heavy flak? Oh, wow. Boy. That heavy flak. So that's second point. GFA Dicidicus forced to dodge the Reborn. Shot out of mine just to push them away a little bit. Looks like the Reborn had moved in close, tried to contest with the Gatling gun. But the Stormbreaker's quick mobility meant that they were able to dodge long enough for the Bamboozlemoth now to move back in. Reborn stuck against the terrain, forced to move forward yet again. Gatling still an arc on the Dicidicus. Artemis shot does connect. Dicidicus rising up. Checking here. We do have hydrogen, though they chose not to use it. And now Reborn, balloon being pressured by the dual Lumberjack. Armor goes down, but they're behind terrain. Oh no, they're done. Tempest. Huge Tempest connections on the Reborn. 60-70% hull is gone. Slow-moving squid keeping a very long position here. They don't have arcs on their opponents. They're very far to the north. Bamboozlemoth exposing themselves. You see Lumberjack and Hades now raining in, but because they're so far away, a lot of these shots are missing. And we'll see. Armor on the Reborn is burning down. So I'm not sure if the Reborn is going to survive this. They still may go down. Armor's done. Tempest come in. Lumberjack hitting. And that's it. That's the third point for Lucky Lepidoptera Leviathan. And slow-moving squid just not doing a whole lot of damage at this long range. Bamboozlemoth's doing a good job tanking these incoming shots. And enough lumberjack shots are missing that the mallets are just able to keep the Bamboozlemoth's balloon up. So let's see where Mobula decides to spawn. They take close spawn here, other side of the bridge. Immediately spotted. Bamboozlemoth now moving in close. Dual focus from blue on the slow-moving squid. Reborn contesting the Bamboozlemoth. Dual focus from red as well. Reborn moving in close. Maybe going to try to get that Gatling back into range. We'll see. Slow-moving squid, big heavy flak connection. Again on the Galleon, and the Tempest from the Dicidicus are picking it away as well. Oh, the damage just racks up so much. Those heavy flaks, so important. I remember we had a period of time where people were not playing heavy flaks. But there was the resurgence of these larger, slower, tankier ships that are easier to hit. Just those heavy flaks reduce the time to kill by exponentially. But they do so much damage. Lucky Lepidoptera got 2 almost instantaneous kills on that galleon, being unable to dodge those heavy flak shots. So that's Lucky Lepidoptera tying up the series. And for Game 3, we will be going to Periton Rumble. So 2 pretty open maps. We're going to dial it back a bit, and we'll see how these teams do on Periton. Game 3, Periton Rumble. First off, we have a Lucky Lepidoptera Leviathan on red, bringing the Pomelos. Looks like front Quacha, left side light carronade, right side Gatling gun. Their ally, the GFA Docidicus, Minotaur on left side of the Stormbreaker, Artemis light flak, Gatling gun. For their opponents, the Pomelos, we have the identified Crusader. We've seen so much of these past few weeks. Dual Nemesis on the front, dual Gatlings, and dual flare guns. And then their ally, the Squictor, since from flying a squid here, Artemis front, Gatling right with a rear light flak. This is an interesting diversion from what we saw in the previous SCS. The Pomelos have been really liking this this dual Nemesis Crusader build, especially on these close range maps that are difficult to navigate around. Dual Nemesis can be very annoying, these corridor shooting situations, and when you contest it, depending on the ship, it can just kind of ram kill you. You'd think, oh, you could just rush to Crusader. It has dual Nemesis. Crusader is pretty squishy, but because it has so much mass, like if you get close to it, it has those dual Gatlings on the top that can serve as a great ram deterrent, anti-air guns. And now, oh, GFA Docidicus getting destroyed by the Nemesis. Squictor, dual focus, 1 Nemesis shot. Stormbreaker, so little health. Nemesis is kind of a ridiculous weapon. And I think Pomelos are going to be going down here as well, getting kind of clipping the edge of this building. They're forced away. They might survive. Uh-oh, nope, never mind. Scratch that. Squictor moving in, identified, going to have Nemesis arcs in a few seconds. And as soon as the Nemesis starts hitting, I think that's going to be it. Balloon's going to start taking damage. Hull is going to be contested here. Gatling's hitting as well from the Crusader. Squictor forced up because they didn't want to get rammed, but Pomelos going to continue to disengage. Just going to moonshine past all the terrain. And GFA Docidicus spawns in behind. Oh no, this is bad. Pomelos taking big damage. Hull armor is up, but the GFA Docidicus has spawned directly behind blue team's position. Last Nemesis shot does finish off the Goldfish, and now Stormbreaker is in a bad spot. They need to immediately disengage, otherwise the squid is just gonna hunt them down. They need to start running. My neighbor's doing some very loud lawn work, which I'm sure is great for the stream. Oh, GFA Docidicus. Looks like they are probably going to be able to survive. It's kind of an awkward angle for the Crusader to be able to land these shots. Pomelos spawns in. They decide to take a far spawn in the corner of the map, so they're going to have a little bit of difficulty. Oh no, Docidicus. I think Docidicus is going to be dead before the Goldfish even engages. We'll see how the Identify does. Looks like they lost their gun arcs for a little bit. And this is one of the other strengths of this build, is the Goldfish is going to hit the Crusader from behind. It's not going to actually destroy any of these guns. Oh, well, actually, Crusader ducks down. It doesn't matter. Docidicus is dead already. 3 points on the board. But if Watchuk hits the Crusader from the rear, they destroy the engines. They don't actually destroy any of the weapons. However, the angle was such that they did hit the top of the Crusader. I still don't think they destroyed any weapons. But there's pretty much no way the Goldfish would have been able to save their ally, unfortunately, because they did decide to take that far spawn. And now Pomelos, they're sheltering in cover. They're safe from the Crusader for now. Squictor probably not going to be able to get a solo kill. Docidicus spawns back in. Light flak. maybe I think maybe the secondary damage. Crusader trying to find an angle on the Goldfish, so Goldfish not safe here, and now they may be a little bit too complacent. They're rising up, trying to go for a ram on the Squictor. Watcha doesn't really connect, but now Crusader is kind of in a bad spot in that their red team could zone them out, but they choose not to, so Goldfish is just getting destroyed. Huge amount of damage. Goldfish not respecting the Crusader. I mean, the Crusader was stuck in this corridor for at least a few seconds before they would have had arcs, but the Goldfish simply thought that they would have been safe. So now Dicidicus, I think Lepidoptera is just getting meat ground. Meat ground, I guess. Oh no, this is bad. Dicidicus, it goes down. And that's 2-1. These games, all these games have been very one-sided. So that's 2-1 for the Pomelos, meaning that next game could decide it. It's going to be on Canyon... excuse me. Going to be on Canyon Ambush, another fairly close-range map. So we'll see if Lepidoptera decides to bring the same build, or they have another plan to try to contest this Crusader. They've just been having so much difficulty with these past few tournaments. Here we go, game 4, potentially the last game for the day. We'll see. First off, taking a look at the Pomelos ship number 1, we have the Squictor, front Banshee, right side Gatling with a rear mortar. Their ally, the La Felinia, Lumberjack Stormbreaker with Banshee Tempest Gatling gun. And for their ally, their opposing ship, excuse me, we have the GFA Wind Troll, Gatling Artemis front, left side light flak Gatling, and finally the Fairy Moth Mercury front with Banshee and a Gatling gun on the right side. I don't know about these ships, these close range ships with Mercuries on the front. The teams, I don't know, feel confident in bringing. It just seems bad. Wind Troll, look at this. Pyramidian's already getting destroyed. This is just a repeat of last week. Last week's finals. Pomelos versus, not last week, but last SCS. Extreme Emergency Daniels versus the Pomelos, where the Extreme Emergency Daniels decided to bring a dual Merc Pyramidian. Like, those Mercs, if the Mercs are not narc, they do 0 damage. And in the case of the Squid, if the Merc is arc, they're still doing... Merc is in arc, they're still doing 0 damage because none of their other guns. The Merc is such restrictive gun arcs that you can't combo it with anything else. I don't understand what the point of this build is. I mean, I suppose they just want to have a Merc constantly firing on a target combined with whatever their ally is bringing. But it's not a good strategy. Red team, Pomelos are just going to outperform them, out-damage them in any situation. Because Squid's always going to be using only one gun unless they they give up on the Merc, go for just the rear bifecta with the Gatling Banshee. In which case, Squictor still just kind of beats them. With a front bifecta better than a rear bifecta, just easier to pilot. And Pyramidian, obviously, big vulnerable target. Now, Redmoth did do okay versus the Squictor, even after the Pyramidian did die. You see Squictor pretty low health, so if Red Squid's armor goes down, Lucky Lepidoptera does have a chance to win a team fight. So I'll definitely be curious to see how the Squictor, how conservatively they decide to play. And we do have a Lucky Lepidoptera calling for a pause. Disconnect from the Fairy Moth's pilot, Mirwen. And yeah, this is the problem. So those are the two problems that I see with what Lucky Lepidopteras are bringing. We can take another look at this Red Stormbreaker. Like, I mean, compare this to the opposing Squid, right? This has a Lumberjack, Tempest, and Banshee versus a Mercury. Which one is going to get a kill faster? Which one is going to be able to contribute more to a fight. I'm not sure Legio Lepidoptera. We'll see if they're going to be able to overcome this situation. Now, Pyramidion, the Gatling Artemis build can do an okay job contesting a squid. You just need to be able to zone them out correctly, keep a reasonable distance so that you can kind of turn and keep them in arc of the front guns, because both the Gatling and the Artemis are very effective against a squid. The only thing you have to really be cognizant of is if you get too close, the squid will just will end up flanking you. You have to be careful for that. Fairy Moth also probably needs to stay close to the Pyramidion to be able to contest Squictor if they do go for a flank, and looks like that's what Squictor is currently doing. La Felinia staying at the entrance of the canyon. Red team doesn't have spots. I think Squictor probably on a scouting mission, as we do have the pause being called off. So they start taking damage. They're going to back out. But they completed their mission, which is they got spots for their ally Stormbreaker. And Stormbreaker now getting into position. They are in a cloud, so it's going to be difficult to contest them. And Squictor hydrogening up. Armor is low. Fairy Moth not going to be able to do anything. Well, they do get... Okay, right side Gatling gun is an arc. But the Fairy Moth takes a big some hit of some gun. I don't know. Squid is dead. Red Squid's dead, so... They did get that fast kill. Windtroll is just... Windtroll's facing the wrong way. He's just hanging out. But the Fairy Moth was able to beat the heavily damaged Red Squid. And now, here's the opportunity for Legio Lepidoptera to stack up a second point. Mercury going to make it a little bit difficult for them to get away. They are reversing. They're escaping in reverse. So Mercury probably not going to be able to take out the engines. Is going to pick away at the whole armor. We have armor shots as well coming from the Pyramidion. I'm not sure. I don't know if Stormbreaker is going to be able to escape here. Well, nope. The answer is no. They're going to fly into terrain and die. I wonder if that was intentional or not. Maybe they just realized that they were going to be slowly ground away by the Mercury of the Squid combined with the Windtroll's Artemis, so they just decide to reset their ship, or it was an accident. Either way, that does mean Pomelos are tying up the score. Squictor already in center map. They're backing away, gonna wait for their ally to respawn. And we'll see how this next fight goes. So that fight was absolutely determined by the fact that the Squictor went into that fight with 15% health. The Fairy Moth got one armor break, rammed them, killed them very easy, and then they could kill the La Felinia from there. But now we have an even fight, and Windtroll going for a ram. Oh, Stormbreaker dead immediately, getting a little complacent, Hellfire. And Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan match point. 2 fast ram kills, taking back the score. The close map. So, difference here. With the fight taking place in the very tighter corridors of the canyon, that first fight the Pomelos won was kind of in the opening to Blue Spawn, which is more open area, with room for the Stormbreaker Squid composition to maneuver around in. But this fight, Stormbreaker just stuck there next to a piece of terrain, which gave Pyramidion the opportunity to move in for that kill. And that's something they have to be careful of. Because these ships, if the Squid, Stormbreaker strikes any low mass ship or low health ship, if they're not being continually mobile, they're basically just ram fodder. They'll always lose a ram. They'll always lose that interaction versus a heavier ship. So they always have to be mobile, making it so that their opponents are not able to set up that perfect ram trajectory. Excuse me. Which they didn't do there, and now blue Legio Lepidoptera, they're hiding out in this northeast corner of the map. heavily clouded. This is a place the team can hide, and I also believe there's a new spawn here. So potentially they were just scouting out for red spawn point. But it also means that they've gotten the drop on the Pomelos. Squictor already taking damage. Armor is down. One Artemis shot, two Artemis shots. Squictor getting picked away. Fairy Moth moving in. Gatling. Squid may be going down here. They're ducking down. They're trying to get away from Legio Lepidoptera ships as the Leviathan is contesting the Wind Troll. Balloon is down to the red Stormbreaker's Lumberjack. And now Fairy Moth and Squictor in Lumberjack duel. Wind Troll moving in close. Going to make it difficult for the Leviathan to contest the long-range guns, but Stormbreaker just switches to the Squid, and now Squictor is moving into the canyons with the Pyramidion preoccupied with the Stormbreaker. Squictor moves in, gets a flank on the Pyramidion, potentially dual focus. We'll see depending on where the Pyramidion goes. Leviathan currently focusing Fairy Moth, but Squictor's so low. Artemis not in the arc. Squictor is too high, so they survive. Another armor break. I don't know. Artemis, oh, they're able to zone it out, getting behind the terrain. And now are we going to see dual focus from Triple L hitting the Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker goes for the ram and goes down. Fairy Moth was moving in, cutting off their escape path. And that means Triple L here on Canyon Ambush tying up the set. We're going to be going to a fifth and final game on Water Hazard to decide SCS 228. Here we go, the fifth and final game to determine today's SCS, and oh, here we go, boys. We got 4 Mobulas, just as God intended. First off, for Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, we have the Ludomoth, Mercury Center, dual Artemis, left side light flak, right side Gatling gun. Their ally is GFA Flying Flounder, Mercury Center, Artemis light flak on the lower deck, Artemis on the far left, and a Gatling gun. For their opponents, the Skyborn, we have Hades dual Artemis with flare gun and Gatling, and finally the Reborn, Mercury, dual Artemis, light flak, and Gatling, and already GFA Flying Flounder and the Reborn getting destroyed. Oh, oh no. Skyborn flanking. We got a fat Mobula flank here, and Flying Flounder one shot away from death, but so's the Reborn. Oh, it's a massacre. Mobula massacre. Oh, and they go down. Score tied up. Skyborn, Ludomoth hitting them in the rear. They're forced to disengage. They're popping the ballast to drop to the bottom of the map, which I think is the opposite of what ballast is supposed to do. But Skyborn able to dodge long enough to dodge those arcs, but Ludomoth still has the high ground, and Reborn has spawned in close, taking that center map position. Because very important here, verticality matters a lot. Skyborn taking damage here, Artemis shots coming in, light flax, excuse me, and Skyborn already almost dead, but Reborn coming in to hit the Ludomoth, and Flying Flounder coming behind the Reborn. Skyborn, I think, going to go down first, and now Reborn hitting the Ludomoth, but Flying Flounder, they're ready to contest, and I think they're going to get dual focused. So I was saying, verticality matters a lot in these Mobula duels, because the Artemis has very poor upwards arcs, as well as the Mercury on the whichever ships. Both the Triple L ships bringing Mercury, the Reborn, Mercury as well. Skyborn is the only ship with a Hades center. But because the Mercury and the Artemis have very low, very poor upwards arcs, the ship with high ground has a huge advantage, and also the ship that's zoning out their ally is going to have a huge disadvantage. Ludomoth flying behind cover, so Flying Flounder is actually not going to be able to contribute to the fight, and I don't know why they're contesting here. They need to immediately disengage, get as far away from these two ships as possible. They're popping the hydrogen, rising up. I don't think they're going to be able to last very long in enemy territory, and I don't think they're going to last long enough for their ally to spawn back in. Because the center map spawn belongs to blue, so Ludomoth is going to be on the opposite side. They're going to be very far away, and Flying Flounder already getting picked apart very quickly. Such a strong start from Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, but Pomelos able to capitalize on Triple L's their positioning mistake there. Lunamoth flew behind cover, Flying Flounder, blocking out their ally completely. So it's an easy dual focus. Like, these ships all basically have the same weapon set. Like I said, Skyborn has Hades instead of the Mercury, but... So it's strictly a matter of numbers. Both these teams are trying to set up dual focus so they can kill a target quickly, and sometimes light flak will come into play, but ultimately, this is about which ships are firing on which ships, and that's going to be all that matters. So they got that dual focus. They were able to stack up 2 points. And now, once again, Reborn and Skyborn, quick dual focus on Flying Flounder. Lunamoth still a little bit low to start using those Artemis. They're rising up. Currently targeting the Reborn, but I think Flying Flounder probably just going to be dead. Already half health is gone. Skyborn's backing up. They have Gatling in arc. And that's going to be it. Flying Flounder down. Pomelos on match point. Game, I think, slipping away. They thought they could... Skyborn are the Mobula Kings. So, they're not going to win. So, Lepidoptera is probably not going to be able to win in a straight-up engagement. They need to beat their opponents on tactics, and they're not doing that. Lunamoth running in here. They're ducking down, trying to stay alive. Armor's still fairly healthy, but the Hades and Gatling are starting to come in. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive here. Lunamoth, armor is down. This Artemis shot comes in. 30% health is gone. Flying Flounder spawns back in. They're trying to fire on the Reborn, but shots are missing. Lunamoth, next armor break, gonna be death. They're hydrogening up, but the shots raining in, and they do go down. Pomelos decidedly winning that game. They stumbled a little bit at the beginning in that first engagement, but able to come back very strong. 5 points in a row, 4 points in a row. I guess they did get that one kill in the first fight. Very strong performance from the Pomelos. Triple L also on Canyon Ambush and Fjords. Very one-sided in their favor. So a lot of interesting games today. Nice to see a tournament without a Shrike, without watches in general. So those are some good matches.